You're listening to the Gabe Molina Podcast.
I got nothing. What am I going to?
Let's throw all the terrible shit out there right now. My siblings hate me, you know. What do you have?
What do you have? Yeah, tell me something I don't know.
But that was fun, man. You know, and I think what's funny is I have to think that still goes on, right? But we have like a more of a sensitive group of people growing up, you know, younger.
Oh, it's annoying.
And so, like, for me, it's like, dude, that out of all the things you learn growing up, learning to take that from your friends, like, honestly, as an adult, that's helped me more than fucking algebra.
For sure, yeah, no, for sure, yeah.
So, you know, that's kind of something they're missing, man.
Coaching, all that kind of stuff. You're just like, all these people are always, they get butthurt so quick, and you're like, no, he's telling you for a reason. Like, if you mess something up and he's making fun of you, that means because he likes you. Yeah. Now, if he just tells you because you messed it up, then he don't like you. Like, if they make a joke about it, take it, run with it, fix it. But that's one thing, like, coaching, like, people are so like, oh, he's on my ass. I can't. Oh my God, no. If he didn't like it, he wouldn't tell you.
Yeah.
They don't care. Like, and that's one thing I learned. Like, if someone's talking shit about you, they care. They care enough to say something that's wrong, and then they want to make a joke about it. They want to. That's the camaraderie, you know.
Yeah.
But
I always tell people, if I said, when I stop messing with you, that's when there's a problem.
Yeah.
You know, when I don't pay any attention to you and I don't even say hi to you, that's where I have a problem. If I say hi to you and then I make fun of you for 15 minutes, I love the shit out of you. You know?
Yeah. No, that's not. Yeah.
But if I ignore you, that's where the problem is. But let's get started, brother. So, Austin Andrade.
Yes, sir. You said
it
right,
brother. Yeah, I researched it, man.
I couldn't tell you. It was last night when we were at the Texas Strongest Man, and they butchered the name. And it's not that hard.
What they call you?
Andrade. And that's like, I'm Mexican, not Italian.
Yeah.
But, you know, Andrade. But I only say that because I'm proud of my name, you know.
Yeah,
growing up, that's the Andrade boys, you know, from my dad and my uncles, my grandfather, and everything. So I like that.
Yeah,
you said it right.
Yeah,
for real.
So you were in Dallas yesterday, right?
No, Houston.
Houston, okay.
Alvin, Texas. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I know where Alvin is.
It was a really cool place. It was a electric company that had this warehouse, and so the front part was a warehouse. Was the electric company. The middle part was his gym, and then the back part was like NASCAR pit shop workshop.
Really?
Yeah, no, it was weird. It was we got there, and my dad's like, "Is this the place?" I was like, "What the address?"
Hey, do me a favor, real quick. We should have done this before we started, but turn this little knob right here and turn it upward, because you're a taller guy than the ladies I had yesterday.
Right there.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. So it was basically the business.
Yeah.
The fitness area, and then the dude's hobby.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I was looking, I was like, if I was an electrician, this is, I get it. I was like, my workout partner, Nick, he was like, dude, I could live here. It was like a fab shop in the back. They had 2 stock race cars up on stilts. It was crazy. And that was our warm-up area.
Oh, really?
There was like plates and deadlift platform and stuff to get ready for, and then we just walk out and to this main area, and that's where we did the events. Excuse me.
Get it out, man.
And they had it all set up professionally. It was really cool. We did events that I've never done before.
How many participants were there?
There was only 4.
4 participants?
Yeah,
okay. So
there was Josh Thigpen, 4-time world strongest man competitor.
Okay.
Then Trey Mitchell, he's a 3 or 4-time world strongest man competitor. And then it was me and Nick. We call them the Texas Boys.
The Texas Boys,
yeah. Well, we got that name down in Beerstone when we did that contest.
Down in the valley?
Yeah. Both of the pros that came down from Virginia and this Washington. different state. They're like, damn, these Texas boys come out to fight, and that's just, hey, you come to Texas, you know how it is, you know. We're always strong. We're strong people here, so
Yeah. What events did you guys have yesterday? I saw y'all did like I guess what they call it, the Hercules hold or something.
Hercules hold, yeah, and it was with what was cool is it was with wine barrels, and so like you're doing it, you could smell the wine.
Oh, really?
Or because they said there was wine in it like a week ago.
Oh, okay.
So that was pretty cool, and then it was 400 pounds a hand, which I've never done before, so I didn't know what that was, but I didn't hold for like 38 seconds, and then I was like, damn, this is like. These at 30 seconds, I was like, oh, crap, here it goes. I started shaking. I was like, oh, just hold on a little longer, and I let go. And I went to the back, and Trey went. And then Trey's, like, done Giants Live and been to UK.
Oh, yeah, those
been
are
all
huge
the world.
events.
Yeah, and he did the Hercules hold at one of those events, like the iconic, like, pillars that would, you know what I mean? And he goes, bro, that one was a lot heavier than the ones. I'm like, thank God, that's cool to hear, you know.
Well, just so people know, the Hercules hold, you're standing there on a platform, right?
Yeah.
You've got I guess like two columns.
Yeah, there's two. Yeah.
And in this case, where you guys had wine barrels on top of that with the weights in it, and you're holding them at an angle that are kind of away from you.
Yeah.
And you're holding them with chains and handles, and basically holding it as long as you can.
Yeah.
Before you drop it and they go downward. And
it's a total grip event. So like you're just it's more of a pain tolerance thing than anything. And of course, like,
so it's all. So I guess your failure is going to be in your grip.
Yeah, that's the first thing that goes. Well, that's what I feel, you know. And what's cool about it is actually it really stretches out the chest and the back. You're just getting pulled.
I would imagine if it would feel good in the very beginning.
Yeah, and then once that 30-second mark hit, your fingers are holding on. I'm like, oh my God, this. You know when you deadlift and over a long time and that hurts after a while. Yeah, that's in 30 seconds.
Oh,
you
really?
feel that.
And there's no it's freehand. There's no straps or anything you can use for that kind of thing.
And then one of the rules is too, you can't hook grip. So you know how like guys will hook, they'll like
your thumb,
put
right?
their thumb and they'll pull over. You can't do that. So it's got to be just straight grip. And I don't know, me on this event, everyone was like, I was like, hey, did you get lightheaded? And they were like,
really?
No. I stepped off the platform and I was like, oh my God, I had to come to for a second. I was like, damn, I don't know, maybe I was holding my breath the whole time, but
that could be a possibility too, not breathing, because I'd imagine you're tightening your core and you're tightening all your muscles, and so you start to, if anything, I would imagine if you're not holding your breath, you're taking shallower breaths or something.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, and it's a long. All right, so there's a plank minute, that feels like 10 minutes, and then this felt like worse than a plank minute.
Oh,
that
really?
30 seconds, I swear to God, I was sitting there for an hour. that was, and my hands were just. But that was the first event, and that was pretty fun. And then we went outside to do the bag toss, and have you seen that one? The bag toss. I hate that event.
Yeah.
What
are the weights on those? And you're throwing them over. What is the height you're throwing them over?
So every competition is different. So this one we didn't even know the height, and we walk out there, and the guy who built it, they built it out of conduit from the electrical company that was right there. So I think it was 15, 16 feet. I don't know, it was pretty high. But the first bag was 50 pounds, and then the last bag was 60 pounds. We don't know what the ones in the middle. I didn't even make it past the second. Well, I made it past the first bag. I got it over, and thank God, because there's only 4 competitors. Nick killed it on that one.
Really? He
won the event. Dude tossed all 4 over. I don't even know what the time was, but man, he beat Trey, he beat Josh, and those are World Strongest Man competitors here that are doing it. But that was cool to see, how much.
So he completed all the bags?
Yeah, he got
cool.
all 60, and I'm for sure that 60 pounder is a PR for him at least, because we don't even, when we train that, I think the heaviest we ever been was like 55.
Oh, okay.
But that was cool to see. And I got the 50 over, so I didn't zero the event. And I was able to, I just snuck away with last place, but man, that was tough. Yeah, I wouldn't really talk about that event, because that, like at Beerstone, there was a keg toss. I tied for like 7th or something on it. And
is the keg toss easier than the bag because of the rigidity of the keg? Or
yeah,
is it?
It is. It's a little bit. I mean, there's the differences. Like the bag toss, like you said, the bag like whips. Yeah. When you throw it, the keg is there, but it also is wider. so you're gonna have to get a little bit wider when you throw it.
I would think is there a benefit to being wider on throwing it, or is it better to be tight and have a closer grip?
So that's the one event that you got to be super athletic. So like, it's all about how fast you are and like your explosiveness and I think when I jump, I don't really jump with a wide base, so that's why I would think like a natural jumping position would be better. But yeah, I don't really.
I guess that takes a lot of quick twitch muscles.
Oh yeah, quick
tossing that bag. What do you guys train for the quick twitch? I keep stumbling over myself.
We do a lot of single arm dumbbell snatches.
Okay.
We do a lot of jumps. So we just do vertical jumps, just to get going up in that direction and try to get that, fire in.
Yeah.
Throwing the bag, that's a big one, and then snatches. A lot of just moving weight as fast as you can. In a quick rep, whatever. But yeah, no, that one's that, and it came. And actually, I'm not good at it. Like I would say, I'm not good at it, but I still come a long way from where.
Yeah,
believe it or not, and it seems like every event I go to, there's always a toss, and it's like, oh my god, it's like, okay, just hold on. This one, just hold on. We get through it. Hold on.
Well, I'd imagine also like visually for the spectators when you're throwing an event like that to have a toss, because when you're seeing it, I think I saw the videos of Nick throwing those bags yesterday or something. Somebody posted it, but. I mean, it's visually as a spectator, it's pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you guys are throwing serious weight, like you said, 10, 15 feet in the air.
Yeah.
And then you're doing multiples, and it's a speed and an explosive movement that's it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I wish it would take No, it's a cool event. I just need to get better at it. It comes down to it, but
What, y'all had a deadlift too and a circus dumbbell?
Yeah, that was fun. But before we got to that, I was kind of dreading this event, but it was, I don't know, it was 1,000 or 1,100 pound tire flip.
Oh, I did see that one.
So we had to flip it 3 times, and then we had to get to this giant anchor chain that we pulled for 40 feet. It was 600 pounds. And
the chain was 600 pounds.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
I don't know if you've seen that chain in the back of heavy metal.
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay, there's one back there, but that's like not even a quarter of the size.
Really?
Yeah, and that one's heavy. So even getting up to the event, I was like, all right, I'll just flip the tire a little bit. I'm not even going to touch this chain because it's like, I don't even want to like just wear myself out before the event.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right. And at this point, I'm in last place, so I'm going first. And that's the worst part about, strongman. If you're not doing well, you're the first one out there.
Oh, really?
And so you don't get to look at what the other competitors are doing. You don't get to, okay, I can do this, I can do that, whatever, different from what they're doing. So I'm the first one up, and I just, all right, here it goes. And thank God for football, because I started flipping that tire, and it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And then I got to that chain, and I was like, all right, let's just move it. I started moving the chain, and I got halfway through, and then my legs stopped working. I was like, just get it done. Oh, my God, who we are? Let's just get it done. And I finally got to like last couple inches, and I just yanked it across. I was like, oh my God, thank God it was over with. Well, I didn't even think I was going to complete it, to be honest with you, because that was a brutal event.
Do you guys and I kind of stalk you and Nick and Rob and a few other folks over at the gym on Instagram, but do y'all train that movement a lot? That walking backwards, pulling something heavy. I know y'all have the sled, and I guess there's that other wheel that's got a little tension on it. But
oh yeah, the run rocket.
There you go. But is that something? Because I'd imagine pulling that much weight backwards. What exercises are you guys doing for that kind of stuff? Because I'll be honest with you, my old fat ass has a problem pulling things, and I think it might be a meniscus issue.
Yeah.
So when I'm kind of digging in, going backwards,
pops a little bit.
It hurts, man.
Oh yeah.
And so when I saw y'all doing it, I was like, I don't care if it was a bicycle chain. I was like, I couldn't do that one.
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot of, we do the sled drags backwards. We'll load it up. Those sleds we can put up to over $1,000 on it. So wow. Get after it. But luckily, when we do heavy stuff like that, we're only doing it for 1 or 2 reps.
Yeah.
Because it sucks.
It's a lot of, I would imagine, a lot of pulling on your lower back too, and
not so much lower.
No?
I mean, if you lean back enough, you're pretty all right. It's a lot on the quads.
Oh,
it's all on the quads. Like you want to feel a good quad burn, go ahead and do a backward sled drag, and that'll really get your quads going. But yeah, we'll do that, and that's pretty much what we do. I mean, we just kind of simulate it because we don't have a 600-pound chain.
Yeah.
Like that. So we'll use like different handed attachments on the end of it to kind of, because it's not like something you can grab with a closed fist. You have to.
It's almost like a cupping.
Yeah. So we'll use that dog bone that's got that really wide. So we'll pull with that. So not only you're like pulling it, but you got to worry about your grip.
Yeah.
Going backwards. So yeah, we get creative with it.
That's the cool thing that I think Tim has done at Heavy Metal is, and he had mentioned it a long time ago, having things that, bringing in equipment that's versatile and that you can swap things out and use them for different kinds of things. And so even like that dog bone you were talking about, when I first saw that, every now and then I'll go with his mom on a Sunday. And I saw that thing and I was like, I don't even question anymore. I'm like, I'm sure Tim's got a reason.
Oh, didn't even get on Tim, but like just that dude's a genius.
Yeah.
That dude's an absolute genius when it comes to getting better at, performance. Like, he's always, that's what I love about the gym. We just get on Heavy Metal, but there's always something new. You know what I mean? When's the last time you've been to a gym and oh shit, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what is that for? You know what I mean? There's always something new or he's always reinvesting into a gym, so there's always new plates, there's always new bars. You go to the gyms and like, oh, there's the same old broken bar.
Yeah.
No, we got new bars. There's a new bar every couple of years. Or there's a new this that helps out this. There's a new attachment here for we're gonna hit this. We're lacking this. We need this machine. There's always something new. That's what I love about the gym.
Yeah.
Well, at least what Tim does. And when you find someone that like, it's not, having a badass gym like he does, but it's about getting better. Yeah. When you're around someone that wants to get better, and you're like we were talking about earlier, being contagious, you're just like, all right, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What are we gonna do to get better? That's what I love about it. But yeah, I know that
the mentality's there for, and I guess the mentality comes from, Tim has it, and the people there. I'm sure that they bring it on their own as well, but it's very interesting to see how, for the most part, I mean, I'm sure some people don't like each other, but nobody can always like everybody, but everybody gets along. Everybody's there to work hard. Yeah. And like you said, it's contagious, and when you get in there, like I told you before, when I do things at the house, it's kind of half-ass, and it's in the middle of watching 90 Day Fiance, and then all of a sudden the microwave dings. So, but when you're in the gym and you're seeing people sweat it out and working for that kind of stuff, and man, it does something else for you. So it's huge.
I think what it is, because there's an end goal. Everyone in there is competing for something. Yeah. Whether it's their own personal goal or, me, it's strongman, or we got powerlifters in there. Everyone's like, they got goals at the end. So really that bigger picture really takes over. They're like, I could care less if there's an idiot in here that wants to ruin my day. I'm not going to let it bother me, because that's nothing to what the goal is. But and then too, like I walked in that gym just going to a gym. Like I was like, oh, this looks like a cool place. And then next thing you know, they got me competing. And then it's like, oh, now I'm addicted to strongman. Yeah. And you know what I mean? Now I'm a professional at it. I made some money doing it. I guess. Yeah. I got my pro card. So, 3 years ago. So
tell everybody about that. I tell you what. Let's go back to the beginning, the origin of what kind of got you into all this kind of because most people want to go to Planet Fitness. Most people want to go to Gold's. For sure. And there's a use for those kinds of places. You can do that same thing at Heavy Metal, or you can do the same thing that you do at Heavy Metal at Gold's, but the mentality is different. Yeah. My wife and I used to go to Gold's, and it was so weird because, nobody talked. Everybody had headphones on. Yeah. Everybody was, had their GoPro set up on all the equipment. and it was like watching a commercial,
Oh,
you know, and then when you go to Tim's gym, it's like a nicer version of what was it, Rocky 3, whenever he was fighting Apollo Creed, and basically they took him to the black gym, you know, where people were still hungry. And Tim's gym reminds me, is like a nicer version of that place. You know,
nice people. Yeah.
You know, there's animals in there. You know, and it may be somebody like you, or somebody like Nick, or somebody like Rob, or maybe somebody that, you know, is a mother of 3. You know, but when they're in there, they're an animal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And man, it's something to see, man. It's cool.
Yeah. No. So I've been lifting weights, I don't know, 11, 12, 13 years old. My dad had weights. He was big in weights. He never, you know, he didn't have like the athletic. I say he played sports, but he liked to mess around more than playing sports, and he kept us focused. But I don't mean anything by that, Pops, but
No, it's all good, man. It's all good.
but you know, my whole life was school and sports, and so, and when you weren't playing sports, they made it to where I didn't have to get a job. Like a lot of kids had to get jobs growing up. And they're like, no, you don't. You're school and sports. You're gonna go to school. You're gonna play sports, and then when you're not doing that, you're gonna be in the weight room. So I got addicted to the weight room young. Like I was always in the weight room all through high school, and all through college. I didn't know what I was just told what to do. You know, I didn't really fall in love with it like I did now. Like the whole process of what I learned from Tim and my own research, but I didn't fall in love with that part of the workout until recently. But before, it was always, you know, you go, you work out, whatever. If you work out in the gym, you're going to be better on the field or on the mat, because I wrestled. So, you know, I wanted to be the best. So I'm going to put a lot of my time in the weight room. And the weight room was fun for me because, you know, I was strong. So it's a strong guy. You know, everyone's like coming up to you. So I felt good about myself in there. Yeah. And so I just loved being in the weight room. And then, so college happened. I met my wife in college.
Where'd you go to college?
What college did I go to? But I finished at Adams State University. Okay. Up in Colorado. Small school. I wouldn't say small school, but the town was small. It was a Division II. I wrestled and I played football for them, so I was a dual sport athlete, which was tough because I only had 1 month off during the whole entire year. Oh, wow. It was football all summer long, all the way to November, and then I was cutting weight and I was getting ready for wrestling, and then wrestling all the way to March. You got a couple months off, and then it's right back to it, you know. So
what were you playing football? What weight were you at playing football, and then what weight were you getting down to for wrestling?
So I was playing football around like 310, 300. Okay. And then I would have to cut down to 285. Oh, wow. So, yeah, it was, for about a month, it was nothing but treadmill and just running. And I didn't know much about nutrition back then, so it was just a bunch of running. Yeah. And it was like, okay, cut the calories and just run and you'll lose the weight. And so that's what I did. That's like my diet back when I was younger. It was like, okay, you go from eating a double meat cheeseburger to a single meat. It's like, okay, I've cut calories. Cut calories. You cut the wrong thing. You kept the bread, but you got rid of the protein. Yeah, no, that's so. Yeah, I think one of the things that saved me is because I was so addicted to soda back then. Oh yeah. That I got those waters that had the fizz in it. Mm-hmm. That saved my life. I think that was a big reason why I was able to cut the weight. But yeah, no, I would play around 300, 310, and I was always a big guy. So I mean, I held my weight well. People think I was like 250 pounds. I was 310, but I would still have to cut weight because I wasn't at the weight. And then, so your body was carrying that weight well. Yeah, I guess it's all my ass. Yeah, I don't know, my legs. But it's thick. It's thick, man. I ain't gonna lie. I watched you walking up to the building earlier. So no, it was the weight cut process was. It turned into a job. Really, I felt like towards the end I was kind of getting real burnt out of it, but. Then we graduated from Adams State, which was cool. Didn't even think I was going to graduate. Oh, really? What'd you get a degree in? So my degree's name is Bachelor of Art, Interdisciplinary Study, Business Marketing, and Sports Management.
Okay.
So I basically mixed 2 degrees to get my hours so I could graduate. This is your typical thing for all athletes to do, just to throw that out there. But I still got the paper,
Yeah.
and that's all that matters. I didn't really like specialize in like sports management or this, but I was able to really. It's cool because you're able to like, take from this and take from that and really learn. And I like the sports side of things, of course, because I played sports my whole life. But like getting into business classes, I learned a lot because I was interested in me like learning how to make money and marketing yourself and getting out there and who to talk to, who to network with, and kind of run a business. That was cool to me. But so I got the degree, and then I moved my wife down here. At the time, she was
she went to the same college?
Yeah, she played volleyball.
Okay, so she was an athlete too.
Yeah. And then we started our life down here in San Antonio, and when we moved down here, I spent my summers here. My parents were split, so I spent my summers here and my Christmases here. So I spent all my like going to school and back in Arizona. So all my friends were in Arizona. I didn't have a lot of friends when I came out of San Antonio.
Oh, got you.
And same thing with her. Obviously she's moving out to a city she's never been to before.
Was she from Arizona as well, or where's she from?
Yeah, she's from Roswell, New Mexico. That's where she was born.
Okay.
And then she lived in Arizona for her high school career, and then she jumped around a couple colleges too, and then ended up at Adams. And then we met our last semester at Adams, and then kind of all took off from there. But
that's cool.
And now we're married, which is, in my eyes, I think it's crazy how it kind of all happened. But I love her, and I owe my strongman career to her, because like I was getting to. My whole life was sports or school sports. And so your life is so scheduled from, high school, middle school, and high school and college. And college, you have no time. You're waking up at 5 for workouts, and you're going to sleep at 10 because you got to study, and there's no time in between but to take a nap, Yeah. And, they kind of just, once you graduate, you're just like thrown out there, and you're just like, oh, get a job? All right. So, you try to find a job, and which I got a job. I moved down here. I got a job. Shout out to my uncles. They got me a job in construction. I was building houses.
Okay.
And I was working for Bella Vista Homes for a little bit.
Yeah, that's a popular one down here, I think, because I've heard that name several times.
They're kind of all over the place. And I had a neighborhood over there in Schertz right before New Braunfels, and here 22-year-old, 23-year-old kid in charge of $1 million worth of
housing and materials
on the ground. Yeah. And it was that was kind of a wake up call, and like, hey, you gotta get shit together. Like this is, these people are moving in his houses. You got to get timelines, boom, boom, boom. Which I was used to from sports, but it was tough. Like, getting to like you. There was no messing up. You couldn't mess up. You messed up, that's money. You know what I mean? So like that was
we talked about that a little bit earlier, with my buddy building homes. There's not a whole lot of time for screwing up. Cost materials go up, and the longer something takes, the more it's going to cost somebody, and
sure.
Nobody likes it.
No, so. And the one thing I've always been a B student. Like it was always just enough to play, right? It was just get your grades so you can play. Just get your grades so you can graduate, right? Now, if you get a B on an inspection, that's a fail. You know what I mean? Like, and that's $75 right there. Boom.
Yeah.
Once you fail a couple of those, and now there goes your money, right? And that's where I learned, like, damn, you got to be perfect on these houses. Like, so learning that was crazy. And then, but getting back to it, like, I started getting big. That 310 came back.
Like weight wise or muscular?
No, weight wise. I wasn't working out.
I got you.
I was like, this is like a full on job here. I'm going to work at 6. I ain't getting out until 6, and I didn't like it. That was rough for me. I didn't like doing it. I like building houses. I liked it when
that sense of accomplishment, getting it done.
Yeah, that stuff and everything falling in place was working. It was cool to see as it go up, but like having to babysit trades.
Oh, yeah. And
then they hated, I was 22, 23 years old, and here talking to a 40-year-old man that's been framing houses longer than I've been alive.
Yeah.
And I'm telling him, hey, you need to get this done today. And he's like, he's not having it, you know. So I had to deal a lot with that. I had to deal a lot with like the whole, you know, materials getting met. Oh, it was a wake up call. But
so what does she do to get you back on track?
She has a weight on her. She's like,
she fat shame you, man.
She a little bit. It wasn't fat shame. She muscle shamed me. She goes,
okay.
Hey, because back. I mean,
see, so she's smart. She went the other way around.
Yeah. No, it was. She. I remember one day she was like, "Hey, you need to get back in the gym. Your arms aren't what they used to be." I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" And so I think it was that week I started working out again. And she works at the Jewish Community Center.
Okay.
And so, I don't know, she'd been working there for a couple years at the time. So there's no reason why I shouldn't have been in a weight room because I had a free membership through her. And so
I think Tim started there too.
It was just crazy. Yeah. I was talking, because that's one thing we talk about, me and Tim talk about, like, always when he used to work back at the J. But I started working out at the J and you know, Maisie, my wife, she's all like, oh, thank God, like he's working out again, like you know. So
she a fitness person too? Or?
Oh yeah,
okay.
Yeah. She loves it. She's always, I mean, her life too has always been school sports. So same thing, like, you know, if you're not in the gym, you're not being to your full potential. So
right.
That's one thing that we get along on so well is, you know, because our lives are so similar growing up.
Yeah.
But
so where was your first gym when she kind of muscle shamed you?
Yeah, it was the J.
I like you saying that because, that sounds better than fat shame.
Fat shame, yeah. No, she was like.
So maybe if Nina would muscle shame me a little bit, something would change. But
she was the arms. She told me the arms. Hey, you're not as, because I was when we first met. I got down to 250 pounds.
Okay.
And I was lean.
Yeah.
And to me, I've showed you a picture, like, dude, you're skinny.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And I think I had a couple abs popping out at that time too. And
you're very broad in the shoulders. So
yeah, and just I was big. I was good looking, I would think, but
shit, man, we both good looking. What are you talking about?
It's now I look like a model. That's what when I was skinny like that, I was a model.
Okay, I got you.
But we what was I saying?
So you started off just just trying to get fit again.
Yeah, just lifting weights, and then of course, you know, I started squatting. And I was like, oh, I used to squat 400, 500 pounds. I used to squat 600 pounds. Let me see if I can start doing it again. So I started adding weight. And then I grew out of the J real quick because it's more of a community center.
Yeah, family-oriented type place.
And here I had with, you know, 500, 600 pounds on my back, and I'm squatting, and everyone's like looking at me, and I was just like,
there's nothing else for anybody else to lift there.
Yeah, I took all the plates, and so I was like, yeah, I kind of have to get out here. And then sure enough, like, I don't know, I was just looking through Instagram or Facebook, and I saw this heavy metal. I was like, damn, that's a badass gym. Like, where's that at? And oh, that's in San Antonio. Oh, that's down the street. Like,
was it already the new location?
Yeah, it was a new location. I lived down the street. We had an apartment kind of by Wurzbach in Northwest Military.
Okay.
And so I was like, wait, that's down the street. So one day I mustered up the courage to walk down there because everyone, you know, heavy metal is intimidating, right?
Sure.
That's the one thing everyone says. But as soon as I walked in there, I saw Tim, and Tim was the most welcomingest person I've ever, you know. He was like, what's up, man? How you doing? You know, this is my gym, and check it out. We got this. He showed me around, and I was like, yeah, I can bang some weights. Like, I've done it before. And to me, back then, I was the most green person walking in there because I was football lifting. You know what I mean? I say football lifting like it's a bad thing, but you know, it was everything was planned out for us. It was so basic, and compared to what we do now with chains and bands and this and that. You know what I mean? So,
well, you know what's crazy is like. I'm probably like I'm 45, so you're late 20s, mid 20s, somewhere in there. 28. So it's funny because like when I was in high school, nobody taught you how to do anything. You know, we watched World's Strongest Man on TV, and you saw Magnus versus Magnus and lifting stuff, and you know, we didn't know anything, right? So we'd go in the gym and we'd throw as much weight as we throw on, and we would try and do 1 rep, and that was awesome, you know. Yeah. And nobody ever taught us anything, you know. So when Tim first opened the first gym, you know, I explained to him, I was like, man, I said, one problem that I have is I don't know how to work out.
Yeah.
I know how to work out like I did when I was 18.
Yeah.
But every time I try and do those things at the time, like 35 or whatever it was, 38, I was like, I hurt something.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting for 2 weeks, not doing anything because I'm injured, and I'm eating, I'm putting on weight, and all of a sudden I'm back at 0 again.
Yeah.
You know, so the awesome thing that Tim brought, and it's so funny because like when you meet Tim, all due respect to Tim, but when you meet Tim, you're like, you know, the way he talks, you know, it's very nonchalant and casual, you know. But when you start getting him on the topic of fitness and exercising, he's a genius.
It's
you know. And so all of a sudden it was kind of like, okay, well, let's drop the weights and let's add some resistance bands, and all of a sudden, you know, when we would work out together, it was kind of like, you know, I told my wife, I'm like, it's awesome because I'm getting a workout in, but I'm not hurting myself.
Yeah.
You know, and there's slower motions and different movements and body twisting and stuff like that. One thing that I told my wife, I said, it sucks in here. I was like, because I would come in and he'd be like, okay, well, let's do some overhead presses. And he'd put like 15 pounds on there. And I'd be like, dude, there's too many hot chicks in here for me to be doing this with 15 pounds. And so he would go get those. They're the size of the 45s, but they're like a wafer.
Bumper plates.
Yeah, they're real skinny ones. And I'm like, dude, that's even worse. You know. So after a while, you know, we would work up to the weight, but that was a critical part, especially for somebody like me, middle aged, fat and out of shape, to be able to work out with somebody that can help you do things in a manner that'll keep you going.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to, hey, let's load up because it looks cool and there's some chicks in here. You know, and then all of a sudden you're out for 2 weeks because you tore a muscle or you hurt a joint or something. You know, and so.
And then you repeat that process
over and over, man. Yeah. And so I think I remember you going in there because, again, like I said, I stalk everything on Instagram, and. You were very baby faced. You're not baby faced no more. You're a grown man.
I got the beard. Yeah. That's what happened. You start lifting strongman.
Some of the women I think have some beards too. So that's awesome. But so you go back into heavy metal and you meet Tim. And
I meet Tim and then he's like, yeah, bro, check it out. So I got a membership and I started lifting weights, and then I think I started lifting weights in heavy metal like April 2018. I can't remember dates, but 18 or 19, one of the two. And then 6 months later, I'm getting ready for my first strongman competition.
Really?
Yeah, I started working with Jackie
okay.
Wood. Yeah, she was my first strongman coach, and
Jackie's the shit, man.
She's shit. There's no other words with it. She's badass. Like, she took second in Worlds. You know what I mean? Like, she's strong, and you wouldn't think of it from her, right?
Yeah.
She's smaller in stature, but man, she's
tenacious, man.
Competitive,
very competitive,
to say the least, man. And watching those videos, and when she got on The Rock, when that show with The Rock, the one video that hypes me up, there was like this half moon thing that they had to like push each other off of.
Oh, that's right. It was like it was like almost like a reverse tug of war or something. Pushing each other.
And she knocked that chick off, and then she started screaming. That's the most hype video I've ever seen in my life. I was like, that when I saw that, it reminded me of like a big hit in football that just gets you going, you know what I mean? And I was like, but that's Jackie. And so we worked together for a couple years, and she got me through a couple nationals, and she obviously, she was Tim's athlete. So I was basically getting Tim's workouts and, her tutelage, through, lifting weights, and what she saw, she's a technician, so because of her smaller stature, she has to be precise with the way she lifts big weights. So
that's true.
With me, instead of like me, I was able just to brute stuff around because I had this natural strength, but she helped me really fine tune my technique to where I was able to take off fast in the sport. And so it was good she was a great coach to have. And then she took off with her business. She does
the swim academy.
And
she's a phenomenal swim coach too. Michelle posted those videos of when she was training baby Tim, and now he's a pro at it.
Oh yeah.
It was so amazing to see her work with those kids, and I mean they're little. They're maybe a year old, if that.
For real, I think that would be the hardest thing. It's like here you're trying to communicate to someone that doesn't even know how to talk.
Yeah,
and she's able to get them to swim.
And to have the confidence to know what you're doing in that kind of arena, because there's times where like the kids will jump in the water, and like I'm watching these videos because Michelle will post them, and sometimes Jackie will post them, and I'm thinking, pick the kid up, because they've been underwater for a while, and she just lets them do it, and they work it out, and they get to the top, and
they figure it out.
Everything's fine. It's like, holy shit!
I can only imagine. Yeah, you're like, is that your kid, and you just. Bro, pick him up. What are you doing? That's my kid. Like, I remember Tim was telling me a little bit. He's like, I guess it was hard for him to go at the beginning because he was like, Jackie, like he's struggling. But nah, it was. She's a great coach. The way she's able to. If you can't figure something out, she'll figure out a way. To get you to figure it out.
That's awesome, man. So how long did you work out with training with her?
I would say 2 years, year and a half, 2 years. And then her business took off. Yeah. So she focused on that, and which was great because, I feel like you need to take, and Tim's really good about this. He's like, you need to learn from other people. Yeah. You just can't with one person. Me and Tim, when Brian Shaw came to the gym and we get all these different guys, we're both. That's why Tim's awesome because he's a student as well, not as just a coach, and when we're listening to him, he's like, okay, I see how you do that. He's always asking questions. So, I started working with Tim, and we did a couple. Now I'm a pro.
So explain to people when you become a professional, what exactly is involved in that? Because you can't do any more amateur shows, right?
Yeah. So, I can get into it, but there's different federations. There's different this, and I got my pro card in Strongman Corporation, which is one of the federations here in the United States, pretty much all over the world. But you're a professional for them. Okay. So they're able to get you shows outside, like those big ones, outside the United States.
So they can connect you with events.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But and then their big contest is America's Strongest Man. So now I'm qualified for America's Strongest Man.
Oh wow.
Also to the Arnolds, like I can or I need to qualify to get to like Arnold Santa Monica, Arnold South America, but they're able to send those people to those depending on how well you're doing. Yeah, they're able to get you there.
I'd imagine there's probably like a point system, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a point system, but if like they know you do well, they'll take you. Okay. But I'm been a pro for 2 weeks now, so I'm still learning the ropes on it.
Sure, but, man. That's awesome, though.
Yeah, so I qualified myself for America's Strongest Man here at Beerstone 2 weeks ago. You had to make the podium at the Pro-Am, so if you made the podium, you got your pro card, you got invite to America's Strongest Man, and you got a little cash with it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which was cool to see now, yeah, and I can actually say I'm a professional athlete because I got paid to do something,
And what's crazy is people, when you go to these events and make like the one in the Valley and the one you went to in Houston, it's like it's exciting to see really strong people do some incredible stuff, but you don't think about the money involved for nutrition and the money involved for gym fees and the time involved for working out, and it literally is like a second job. Sure. So being able to get your pro card like that and be able to benefit from it monetarily, that's it's kind of that really helps. But I would imagine how depending on how successful you are at different events, that also kind of helps you really, I guess, I don't want to say step up your game, but your game improves even more because now you can stay more focused on that.
For sure.
And maybe at some point it becomes a full-time gig. You know, like you know, I follow Brian Shaw on a bunch of stuff, and it's like, granted, he's been a professional for a while, and I think he's like 4 or 5-time world's strongest man or something.
Yeah, 4. Yeah,
4. And I mean, it's a full-time gig, but it's got to be at that point.
Yeah.
You know, once you're invested that far, and you know, he's got the home gym and everything else, and you know, family and kids and stuff like that. And it's like that's what I would imagine you guys all aspire to. You know, to be able to say, hey, this is my full-time gig.
I would be awesome, definitely.
Yeah,
if I could,
awesome.
I would rather train in the middle of the day, but I train at 5 because that's when I get off of work. But yeah, I definitely need to have a day job to do this sport because it doesn't, you know, eventually, hopefully it might get to that point. But, you know, it is like when I was going to this contest, obviously I didn't think of the money. And I think that's what's cool about the sport too. I mean, yeah, I would love to make more money, especially doing the sport I love. But I think that's why you put your body through it, is because you just love lifting weights. I love chasing numbers. You know what I mean? Like I always want to get the next heavy log press. I always want to bump up my deadlift, and I don't know if it's an ego thing, but you know, I could go in the gym and no one be there.
Well, you got to have the goals, man. You know, you got to be able to set yourself a goal and strive for it. Otherwise, it turns into, you know, just something that you do for fun, and it's like, well, this isn't for fun. You're trying to make it a living, and you're trying to make a living off of it.
Yeah, and
that's awesome.
It just goes back to like my whole life, you know, being school sports. You know, now I got a job that allows me to do it. Thank God. But you know, if I didn't have going to the gym afterwards to like chase that number, and two, I couldn't go to the gym just to go to the gym to work out. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, you got to have some sort of goal that you're trying to achieve. That's the goal.
Yeah, and now that I got that pro card, you know, it's like, okay, there's another step in the system. You know, I got America's Strongest Man. I want to, if I get that title, America's Strongest Man, you best believe I'm walking around this whole entire place like.
I would too, man. I wouldn't blame
the biggest balls in the world. Yeah, and so I can't wait to start training for that. I can't wait to start, you know, getting prepped up for that because, you know, and when that whistle blows, it's the same thing with football. It's like, I don't care who you are.
Yeah,
I don't care who you are. I'm gonna do my very best to beat you.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's, I always tell some of my kids that I coach, I don't care if it's your grandma in front of you. You know, when the whistle blows, you fight until it's done and you win.
Yeah.
And so I love having that mentality of like beating someone. Of course, I love winning.
Sure.
I hate losing.
Losing sucks, man.
Yeah.
You know, growing up with my dad and my siblings, we talked about how rough our family could be at times. But, you know, it was one of those things where, you know, you always hear the phrase, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, whether you had a good time. You know, my family was always like, losing isn't fun.
No.
So you can have fun, but make sure you do it while you're winning.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. No, I think that, and then too, we were talking about like the softer generation.
Sure.
That's what it is. I mean, it's okay. No, you lost.
Everybody gets a trophy now.
You lost. You lost.
Yeah.
Go
and
get better.
that gives younger people, you know, something to say. Hey, you were unsuccessful.
Yeah.
Work on these things.
There's
when you don't tell somebody they have something to work on, they don't bother working on it. You know, and then guess what? You become an adult and you go, oh man, I wasn't the shit.
Yeah.
You know, my friends' parents and my parents were lying to me.
Yeah. There's no adversity for kids nowadays.
And that's where you grow, man, is with the adversity.
When you're forced to change, that's when the growing starts. And we just talk about, it's just annoying how like, oh, I didn't get it. We'll get better.
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to do to get better? Every time I step in the gym, I got to be 1% better than I did. You know, you always want to get better. You always want to get better. And even with weightlifting, and you start to get to that point where like it might take a year to put 5-10 pounds on a lift. You know what I mean? You can't be like, oh, I put 30 pounds on my bench this year or something like that. You know what I mean? That's when the focus gets even more on it, because now, you know, it's not big strides that you're making every year.
Yeah.
So that goal gets a little bit, well, not a little bit smaller, but the focus gets a lot more intense.
So what's your advice to people like me? What's your advice to people like me that we're unreasonable in the sense that we look at the process and we don't want it to come incrementally. We want large jumps.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
What is your advice to somebody like me that goes, I'm not seeing the changes that I wanted immediately, and then we start taking breaks, and then guess what? Now we're not seeing any changes.
Yeah.
What is your advice to somebody? Because you've been through this. You've gone from getting a little out of shape to getting back into shape, and now you've got your pro card and you're starting to advance your career. It wasn't honestly, it seems like a short period of time from 2018 to now, but still, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that's 5 years of, I'm sure, everyday workout.
Yeah.
And I mean, what would you tell somebody that needs that motivation to stay focused? Because that's my problem. Is the focus, man.
Yeah. No, it's like I said, we gotta win the day. Like, and I don't know who said that, but you gotta win the day. So whether it's, and this is big too, like you get so fixated on a number, like say, I need to add 5. I didn't PR on my log press. Damn, I didn't do it. Okay, but you went, like, think back. Okay, you did a warm up set, but here you did a warm up set and you did one more rep of a certain weight that you couldn't have done. That's a PR in itself.
Yeah.
Like, that's movement towards the goal. So like little wins, like being able to work out, not hurt. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't feel hurt today. That's a win. Take it, move on with it. You know what I mean? I got one more rep than I did last time. That's a win. That's, even though it wasn't big time. I benched 450 pounds for whatever. That's still a win. You gotta take on, move with it. So my form got better. This was a big thing with Nick, my training partner. He wants numbers, and I was like, hey, slow down, bro. Look, you did 300 for 5 today on log press. Have you ever done that? No. You got better. There you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, whoa, shit. If you put it that way, yeah, I did get better. And then now look at him. He's pushing people. Like, he's pushing pros. He's beating pros in events. You know what I mean? He's taking first in these events. He's really close to flipping the page right now. You just little things here and there, and he's gonna be competing with the rest of us. But it's like one time he told me, man, I need to get my shit together. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, he's like, no, my numbers aren't where they're supposed to be. I said, he's like, what are you talking about, dude? You come in here and you bust your ass every day. You're consistent with it. That being consistent, like say you go to, that's another way to look at it. I went to the gym 3 times this week and I had 3 good workouts. Last week you only had 2 good workouts. Well, hey, look, there's a win right there.
Yeah.
So it's just finding stuff that, even if it's super small, but if you did it better than last time, that's a win. You got, you're just gonna move on with it. Take that win and move on with it. Because if you just keep on focus on the negative, you're like, this, and then it becomes a job, and then you don't want to do it no more.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you've literally kind of described me too. It's the same thing where, those little improvements. It's almost like, and it's a mentality change, I guess, but it's like the small improvements are not good enough. I need it faster.
Yeah.
I want them bigger. And this the other problem is Tim always thought I was ridiculous, I'm sure, because as we get older, we go, when I was in high school, I did this. When I was and it's like, dude, you haven't been in high school for 30 years.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things where you don't do those things anymore.
To quote my wife, she says, "Close the yearbook."
You really have to, man.
Yeah,
you really have to. And you're not that person anymore.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if I met high school Austin, I don't think I would like him. You know what I mean? Just because how much I've grown, and like I would tell him, bro, you need to do that better. You know what I mean? But yeah, just like we get caught up into it. Like I want a state title in wrestling in high school. it doesn't mean anything to me. You know what I mean? Like, I need to go win America's Strongest Man. Oh, you did that in high school. That's cool. Whatever. I want that now. You know what I mean? Like, that's what, one thing I've always been thinking about this. I hate the word congratulations. When someone says congrats to me, it feels like if you won the lottery, congratulations. You know what I mean? Like, that's luck.
It's the end of something.
Yeah. Me, I want them to tell me good work. Like, great work. You did it. Good work. Like, I got my pro card, good work. You know what I mean? When someone tells me congratulations, it means like, oh, that just fell upon me. Hell no.
Yeah.
You know how hard I've been working for this?
Sure.
It's not congratulations. It's good job busting your ass. You know what I mean? So,
and it's also a sense of like, hey, yes, you accomplished something, but I can see where you could take congratulations as you're finished, and it's kind of we're not funny. We're not finished.
For sure. And I don't. And obviously, I know people don't mean it by that.
Sure.
But in the back of my head, I have to tell myself that, because if I tell myself congratulations, I'll hang it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I tell myself congratulations on the football career I had. You know what I mean? I played college. I did all that fun stuff. Congratulations, you did it. I'm not going to play football no more. I think about putting pads on and it hurts my body.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that shit no more. Like,
yeah, it's a car wreck every play.
Yeah, same thing with wrestling. Like, wrestling, you did it. Congratulations. When it comes to weightlifting, it's like, good work. Next thing. What's next? That's why I know obviously people mean congratulations by, good work. And that's cool. Awesome. Congratulations. But, I always, in the back of my head, man, no, it's not congratulations. It's good work. You did it. Now it's on to the next thing. You know what I mean? So, and that's another thing that I like always look towards to motivate me to get to the next thing is like, I'm not done. I don't want to be done.
Yeah.
If I'm done, when I'm done, I'm gonna be dead in the ground somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's one of the pushing factors to always get better, and why I put myself through. Sometimes like there's Saturday, Sundays where I'm working out with kids, or I'm working the kids out, and I'm like, man, how do I do that? Like, my body hurts today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, explain to me a little bit more about that. When did you start getting into the coaching the kids on these weekends?
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
And what gets involved in that? How many kids are you doing? And what kind of workouts are you putting them through?
So, I got to shout out my boy, Devin Threat. He got me on this. He's the one that actually got me my job down at I don't want to talk about it, but the appraisal district.
And his name's David Threat?
Devin?
Yeah,
he played at UIW.
That's a badass name, man.
Right? Devin Threat, yeah. Too bad he's soft. I'm just kidding. No, he's a really good dude. So I met him playing semi-pro ball. I got into doing that when I first moved down here because I needed that competition, you know. And so I was playing semi-pro. He got me playing semi-pro. And this is what I was doing when I was building houses. And the coach of that semi-pro team, one day he calls me. He's like, hey, I can get you a job so you can practice with us more. And I was like, sure. How much does it pay? I was talking about this. Like, I don't know. So I interviewed for it, and I got the job, and now I'm an appraiser for the county.
Oh, that was the job?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So now I got a government gig, you know what I mean? Like, I'm chilling 8 to 5 every day. If email comes at 5, guess what? I'll do it tomorrow. I don't care about it, you know what I mean? The benefits are great, so it just set me up for it was that job so I could play football.
Sure.
And then I didn't like playing football no more because I was kind of over it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and my dad's gonna hate that I said that because he thinks I should be playing. Well, I definitely think if I put my mind to it, I could have played in the NFL.
Yeah.
But that chain passed, you know what I mean? I don't want to do it no more. But
it's a tough gig, man. We talked about Coach Lynn's earlier. And that's it's a lot on your body. It is. It's a lot on your body, and not just that. It's when you've been doing it for as long as maybe you've been doing it.
Yeah.
I got nephews that they went. Some of them, one of them's in college right now, playing in Sol Ross, and it's like when you think about it, he's 19. But he started playing when he was 5.
That's a long time.
It's a long time, man.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't care what you love, doing it for, 14 years, and you're only 19, that's a long time.
That's still a long time, yeah.
And it, it's a grind.
If it's especially Texas football, you're playing year round.
Yeah.
They got these kids playing fall, spring, this, that. It's like, kid, get a break, man. Like, But yeah, I know that. So Devin got me that job. I started playing semi-pro. I didn't want to do it more. I found out Devin, he has his own little company called Block, BLOCK, like blocking.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a private coach for offensive linemen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like, bro, get me in on that.
You were offensive lineman, or
so okay. I played offensive line my whole life. I played center guard.
Okay.
You
were the fast one, because the tackles were the slow ones.
No, tackles are the fast ones.
Are they fast ones? Who's pulling? Tackle or
guards?
Guards.
The way I see it is the center's a smart one, your guards are bruisers, and your tackles are athletic.
Oh, okay.
At least at the college level. At the college level,
I guess they've got to pick up the defensive end.
You're going against defensive ends that run, 4.8s, 4.7s, fast guys. It was hard whenever they put me on the edge. Man, I was like, oh, I need to get out there now. Like, it's got to be quick.
Yeah.
But my position was center. Like, I played center pretty much my whole life, and I understood it, and I understood offenses, and it was more of a, when I got to that college, it became more of a game chess match to me. Yeah. Rather than just
the physicality was there. You already had all that. It was the mental game now.
Learning, seeing safeties, seeing how linemen or linebackers line up, calling games. What if it's 3rd and 10, they're going to be playing games. I'm probably not going to block this nose guard. They're going to do a switch, and then I might end up getting a blitzer on the coming in. So you're thinking about that more in the 10 seconds that it is before snapping a ball. So Devin kind of hooked me up and showed me the ropes on how he did these private coaching. So I started it, and I started doing it at the Harderberger Park. Down the street from the gym. Yeah. And I was doing it in there, and I had a couple clients and a couple kids that stuck. And I still got a couple that stick with me today. And I would do it on weekends, and it got tough during the summer when it was 110 out there.
Yeah, it's brutal, man.
I started working with them. He showed me the way, and I, doing my research and learning, more. I had the base I had playing football and what I was going to teach the kids, but also there's a whole nother level of technique and working out that I learned from these different offensive line coaches in the NFL that Devin kind of put me onto.
Okay.
So I started doing that, and I was working out the gym for maybe a year or two, and I brought the idea to Tim one day, and I was like, what do you think about me, coaching kids out of here? And he says, I'm about it, man. I just got to see how you coach. You know how he talks.
Yeah.
And so one day I called one of my high schoolers up. He went to Holy Cross, good offensive lineman. I don't think he played anywhere. I think he had a girlfriend, but you know how that goes.
Chicks.
Yeah. But good kid, really coachable. And I was like, okay, perfect. I'm going to take Rudy. So I was like, don't worry about the fee, whatever. Just make me look good, right?
Yeah.
And so did it, and Tim was coaching his clients too, and he was kind of keeping an eye on me. And I was afterwards like, okay, yeah, we can do it. I was like, all right, cool. So I started working out of the gym, and it was a lot better because now I can have kids in the middle of the day, and
that's awesome.
Not have to worry about getting beat in the sun. But I've been doing it for 4 years now, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where I coach. It started off as offensive lineman specific training, you know what I mean, to where footsteps, hand placement, learning, just being an offensive lineman, being a way better offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Pretty much teaching these kids everything I didn't know as offensive lineman, and what I had to do, YouTubing other coaches and players and see what they did, and learn that way. So teaching them all what I had, and then on top of that, what I'm learning from strongman and working on the gym. So I was teaching all these kids that, and then now it's turned more into being a better athlete.
Yeah.
Because now I got
and a mentor to these kids, man. I'd imagine,
Oh, yeah.
they love learning from you. One thing that I think, me growing up in a small town, you can only learn so much during your football practice, and when you're at a larger school like San Antonio, you may have, 5 positions on the offensive line, and you may have 17 kids that are trying to play that position, So to be able to get that one-on-one time,
for sure.
like you said, learning foot placement and you're learning to use leverage and body control, and those are things that, a lot of people go, well, he's going to learn that in high school. He doesn't need extra coaching. It's like, you're not going to learn that.
That's one thing that about being offensive lineman too is like growing up, it was, he's a big fat kid. Okay, same with offensive lineman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, no, offensive linemen, if not, are the most athletic people on the field.
Yeah.
They have to be. You know what I mean? They're going against really athletic defensive ends. They're going against the best linebackers. You know what I mean? Like, they got to protect some dude that's worth millions of dollars in the backfield. So the professional offensive linemen, those dudes are bad. You know what I mean? Like, they're not big fat guys. So I'm trying to teach it, like, they kind of push these kids to the side growing up. Like, oh, he's just offensive lineman. He's just offensive. I'll tell you what, when my first playing college was such a wake-up call on how fast the game got.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you don't go to a linebacker. You go to where the linebacker is going to be. You know what I mean? If I'm going to make that hit, if I'm going to make that block, you gotta meet him there.
Yeah.
Or else he's making the tackle. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. Like you said, I teach these kids like not only little tendencies in the game, but also too like you think a college coach is going to deal with that bullshit?
Yeah. They expect you to know that already.
Yeah.
But I would imagine by the time you get to that level, they expect you to have that knowledge already. And, it's such a benefit to those kids to be learning something from you while they're in high school or middle school or whatever they're playing football in. Things that you acquired, knowledge you acquired, when you were in college. And it's like they're getting it when they're, you may have been 19 or 20 when they're getting it at, 14, 15, 16.
Well, just to show for it, I have finally, the kids that I've worked with are finally making it to college. I got one kid going to Central Arkansas. I didn't do anything to help him in terms of playing. I didn't talk to a coach or nothing.
Yeah.
He did that on his own.
Right.
But I definitely helped him in his playing game to be able to, put something good on film for a college coach to see. So I do take a little bit of credit for it.
There's got to be some pride in that, man. You know? I mean, it's interesting because the accomplishments that you are achieving are awesome. They're impressive, and there's more to come.
Yeah.
But I would imagine the coaching portion and seeing knowledge you've given somebody and they're putting into practice, and now it's benefiting them.
Yeah.
I'd imagine, man, it's gotta feel great.
Yeah, no, it I think, all right, so that's another thing I'll talk about, but Zane, he's from Houston. He used to travel from Houston to San Antonio and work with me during the week.
Oh, really?
And I helped him out with his footwork. We worked on positioning. We got a lot of good work in when he came, and I would see him. I would block off a whole weekend for him. He said, hey, I need to work. All right, I'll block a weekend for you so you can get some good work in. And I would see him maybe once a month. He's going to play for Central Arkansas, Division I.
That's awesome, man.
And that's awesome. I didn't play Division I, and I think that's another reason why I do strongman is so I can show that these coaches, they missed out on me because I'm a strong, badass dude.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Just because they a lot of people used to write me off my height. Believe it or not, I'm 6'2", but they're like, oh, you're just too short for us.
Yeah.
Give me some over here, and I'll show you I'm too short for him. Watch me lay this dude out.
So how tall are most of those guys in the D1? Are they pushing like 6'4" or something, 6'5"?
Yeah, I mean, you see these big Power 5 schools like the SEC, the Pac-12, and they're minimum 6'3".
Oh,
and
really?
that's even short.
Yeah.
I remember my first college huddle. Me and the running back were the same height. Everyone else, my guards were like 6'4". My tackles were big guys, and me and the running back are the same height. But I was like, man, if you ask me, I was a better offensive lineman than all of them. I mean, no disrespect on them. It just, it's not about the size of the dog; it's about the fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, And I always like took that as like a chip, like as my pride is I'm the scrappy little Mexican on the field. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. Like if I'm on the field, it don't matter who you are. You know, go back to I don't care if my grandma's in front of me, I'm gonna beat her up. You know what I mean? If the whistle blows, this is it.
Those are the kind of intangibles people talk about. You know, I think a lot of times I've done a podcast with another buddy of mine who was trying to be a baseball player and didn't go as well as he had hoped, but it was kind of one of those things where you start getting put in these boxes, right? So before anybody even messes with you or gives you any sort of significant opportunity, they go, you know, bring me all the 6'3" guys.
Yeah.
You know, everybody else go over there.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't know anything about me. You don't know anything about my tenacity or my skill level.
Yeah.
But there's so many kids here that you're going, this is where I'm chopping the line, and everybody south of this is going to go to the other area to go practice, and we're going to take these guys over here. He was telling me about throwing a baseball 90 miles an hour, and he would go to, as a kid, they would go to these I guess seminars or whatever, these showcases, and they'd bring, you know, scouts in to watch these kids. And there was literally a cutoff where if you were a pitcher and you couldn't throw past a certain mile per hour, let's say it was 86 or something at that age, you know, if you were south of 86, you were gone. You know, anybody over 86 miles an hour, come on, we're going to work with you some more. And it was like an immediate, hey, you're screwed. You know, you're not a certain height. You're not throwing the ball hard enough. It doesn't matter. You may have 3 different pitches that are amazing control, but you're not throwing it fast enough.
Yeah.
You know, you may have a lot of tenacity and be a hell of an athlete, but you're not hitting our height requirement. You know, and it's like, I get it to a certain extent, but at the same time, it's like, man, you're missing out on some good players.
Yeah, man, there's good players out there, man. That's one thing. I mean, it's just like it's annoying. Like, talk about like, you know, the combine to me is like the biggest like cattle operation there is. You know, they go in there, they write their you know, they're as messed up as it sounds, it's organized slavery. You know what I mean? I want the biggest, baddest dude on my team.
Sure.
But is that dude good? Oh, he looks good. He's got good stats. You know, oh, he's this tall. He's this, whatever. But he's soft on the field.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? Like, do you want someone soft on the field? You want someone that, okay, he might not be, you know. So, yeah, I had to deal a lot with that.
And I guess the problem with that, like I just said, is there's so many guys.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like when you have 20 positions and there's 1,000 people here, it's like, okay, well, if we try it out every single one, we'll be here forever.
Yeah.
You know? So to a certain degree, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, I get it, but at the same time, you're missing out on some quality players,
for sure.
man.
Yeah. Just because they're an inch off or whatever. Nah, that's bullshit in my mind. But, I definitely take that back into my coaching. Like, in even strongman, like, you know, here, I'm strong, you know, we go against all these dudes that have backgrounds in football and all this other stuff too, and here I am stronger than them. It just makes me feel better that I'm like, all right, these dudes missed out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same thing with, I get my guy to a Division I. I told him like, bro, that's awesome, dude. Like, I didn't do that. You know, you're on a whole new level, and you know, you're paving your own way here. I want to like diss on the divisions, but I have a kid too, Joe, out of Brendan. He's going to Marathon Baylor. So I was like, dude, that's a great decision. Like, you're going to be a national champion in a couple years playing football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and then two, like, he's going to go play. He's going to go play 4 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's one thing I do have to say is throughout my college career, I didn't sit the bench. So, like, some guys will go to these big-time schools. They won't see the field until their junior, senior year.
Yeah.
Me, I played every single down of every game that I dressed out for, which a lot of people can't say. You know what I mean? So,
that's huge, man.
So it's like, you know, you want to play, or do you want to go because Alabama's on your T-shirt?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
for a lot of kids, they dig that though.
Oh,
you know,
sure.
They eat that up, but at the same time, it's like, you know, that you're not benefiting. You're benefiting from maybe seeing that competition in practice, but you're not getting that game time that's a wealth of experience. You know, so it's kind of like even when it comes to like you said, either going to Division 1 or Division 2, it's like you may go Division 2 and it may not be as exciting, but you're gonna play. You're gonna see a lot of game time. You're gonna be on the field, and
I
you're
tell
gonna
you
get that
what,
experience.
in all the games I played Division 2, I did not notice the crowd at all. There wasn't. If you're trying to look in the stadium while you're playing,
It's a bad sign.
you're not playing. You're not playing right. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like if you're worried about what it looks like besides the guy in front of you. You know what I mean? You're not. You're obviously out there for different reasons.
Yeah.
Same thing with like wrestling. You know, it was like, you Division 2, since the schools are so much smaller. Like, every college has a football program. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you take a third of that, and then a third of that, and those schools have wrestling programs. So Division 1, Division 2 is so scarce that if you're going to be on a wrestling team, you're good.
Oh, gotcha.
No matter
Doesn't matter what division you're in.
And what's cool about the sport too, and which I think helped me love strongman so much more, is how individual it was, but yet how much of a team aspect it was too. Because you go on a mat and you lose, you lost.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you how many football games I've had a great game and we lost a game. You know what I mean? And that sucks. You're like, damn, I busted my ass and we still lost a game. And so, like, how do you feel about it? No, wrestling, you won the match. You won the match. You were better than that guy. You lost the match. You lost. That was it. What are you going to do to get better? Which was I loved about wrestling. And then, too, it's a fight without punches.
Yeah.
So here I get to, beat someone up.
There's a lot of similarities, and I would imagine, in football and wrestling, in the sense of there's a lot of leverage and torque and pushing and a lot of strength involved. And I mean, it sounds like that's something that's been you've been in some capacity almost since you were a kid. With that pushing, that pulling, whether it was wrestling or football or weights. And
if it wasn't for wrestling, I wouldn't have played college football because wrestling made me a way better offensive lineman. If that's why I say it's been said all over the place, but every offensive lineman should wrestle. It doesn't mean if you start or not, but you need to go through that wrestling practice. Like I couldn't tell you like how sore. The first time I ever went to a wrestling practice and I walked home, my mom could tell you that I couldn't walk for like a day. Like it was just all the legs and my neck was sore and pulling, my back was sore. Everything I learned, like my core, everything was sore. It's just because it's our full body workout the whole entire time. And then, I remember the first time I met my wrestling coach in high school, Sam Portillo, and I owe that dude a lot too, because even though he wasn't he was very unconventional in his coaching, he was a great mentor for me and for the guys around. Because
what high school did you go to?
I went to Amphitheater High School in Tucson, Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did. I those 4. Yeah, so I went there 4 years, and then I ended up going to JUCO and then Adams. But I remember the first time meeting him. See, I played music growing up, so I was in the jazz band. My freshman year.
What instrument did you play?
Bass.
Oh, nice.
And here's this big awkward kid just here to play football, and here I'm playing bass, and he's talking to my music teacher. And I don't know, we were warming up at the time or anything, but I remember seeing off in the corner talking. And then after class, he pulls me aside. He said, "Hey, you ever wrestled before?" And I was like, "Wrestle? Like WWE?" I didn't know what it was. I didn't like, I guess you could say I saw what real wrestling was, whatever, but, on TV or whatnot. But I didn't think of like real wrestling. I thought it was like Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's
funny because they call it amateur wrestling, but it's real wrestling.
Yeah, real wrestling, amateur wrestling. Yeah. So I went to a practice. I fell in love with it. Just being able to be physical and not get in trouble, hit someone, and not get in trouble for it. You know what I mean? Like take someone down and I say beat them up. If you're soft, you go in there and you barely put your hand on someone and you're soft, you're gonna get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna do something, you got to do it with authority. Move someone. Like, you know what I mean? If I'm gonna take you down, I'm gonna take you down. If you're gonna try to take me down, I'm not gonna let you. So it turns into a fight, you know, without punches.
Yeah.
So that Sam took me in, and of course I was a heavyweight. I've never not been a heavyweight. The weight class is 285, and I walked in high school at 220, 225, so I couldn't even go to the lower weight class. So I've always been a heavyweight, but those practices and getting my ass kicked and by the seniors and it was like having your older brothers, you know what I mean, just beat you up,
roughing you up all the time.
That was how it was in the wrestling room. You know, we had at the time we had a couple state champions and we had a couple guys that did well at state and so, you know, at the time I was looking up to them like, oh, those guys are state champions and, you know, they're good wrestlers and I want to be that. And here they are kicking my ass in the room. And then, you know, freshman, sophomore, junior year, my senior year, I ended up going 54-0.
Jeez.
I had 52 pins. So everyone I wrestled, I pinned.
Yeah.
And that's the quickest way to end the match. Just put them down, get the slap on the mat, and you're done. You know what I mean? So
that's awesome.
And I won a state title my senior year.
Really?
Yeah. That was cool. That was a great experience. It just because we had such a bad football season, it was bad. If it was like revenge
in the wrestling season,
like, you know what I mean. Like here, I had to go prove myself. Like, oh, we had a bad football season. I'm a bad football. No, I'm not a bad football player. I was just on a bad football team. I'm gonna go prove that I'm a badass athlete, and I had to do it in wrestling, and I did that. So and it was really if I was wrestling in a school that we played football in, I would take them to the third period, and then I would pin them. I would make that 5 minute match hell for them.
Yeah,
I wanted them to hurt. You know what I mean? That poor kid probably didn't even play football.
Yeah,
but just because you have that logo on your singlet, I'm gonna mess you up. You know what I mean? So
that's awesome.
So I made it. Yeah, and I made it pain for some of them. I don't know, you know, if they were or not, but that's what they get.
That's awesome.
But yeah,
you know, one thing that I think is really cool about strongman is, you know, follow you guys. I follow a few other people and some of the organizations, and you know, so everybody kind of posts things, and it's very competitive. It's very different as far as, you know, seeing athletes compete in an event. You know, it's different than anything you've ever seen. It's exciting, and there's definitely a level of competitiveness.
Oh yeah.
But it's nice to see how all the competitors are very encouraging of each other.
For sure.
You know, it's like you all have suffered the same suffering.
Yeah, we all have to do this stupid heavyweight.
You've all done it. And so, like, it's very nice to see everybody kind of cheer each other on, you know, be there for each other. Y'all take pictures with each other at the end. And it's like a brother and sisterhood of something that most people don't experience, you know.
No, for sure.
It's like you've got this level of professional football athlete and professional baseball athletes, and the level of professional powerlifters is completely smaller than that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it's like a fraternity, sorority of a group of people that are, you know, elite in what events they compete in,
mm-hmm.
but at the same time there's this closeness, because even though, you know, this somebody may be from another state, it's like, I've never met you before, but we've suffered the same suffering.
Yeah.
And you totally get it without even
sure.
knowing each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's friggin' awesome, man. There's some of those, like you said earlier, I've seen some of those videos from like Giants Live and some of those other events, I guess, that are in Europe or whatever. And, you know, the guys will get done lifting the Atlas stones, and, they're cheering the next guy on, and everybody's going crazy. And it's like, yeah, that's the shit, man. And that's the shit when you can sit there and be, you know, lethally competitive, but at the same time being supportive of the guy that you're competing against immediately.
It's crazy, yeah. No, it definitely has a weird emotion to it, especially when, you know, it's getting down to the last thing. But, you know, with me and Nick too, same thing. Like, I want him to do good. Yeah. He does good, I do good. You know what I mean? me and him train together. Same thing when it comes to the Texas guys. You know what I mean? Like Texas out of nationals this last year, we had 1, 2, 3. I think 3 guys top 10. You know
Really?
what I mean? We're a strong ass state.
That's
you know
awesome.
What I mean? Even at the Arnold, the top 10, I think there was 2 guys from Texas. You know, one from Austin, one from Dallas area. You know, even though, you know, when we're competing, hell yeah, I want to beat him, but I want him to do good.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's a weird emotion. And you know, it's crazy too. Like same thing with wrestling. You know, you don't even know no guy, and this is big in international wrestling. You know, United States guy could go to Iran. You know how we don't like each other or whatever. The politicians don't like each other, but a United States wrestler could be in Iran, and he sees someone that on the Iranian wrestling team, and they will take him in.
Yeah.
As a brother, as you know, you're a wrestler. You're not whatever the guys in the suits are telling us what to do. You know, me and you are wrestlers, so I'm gonna take you in. I'm gonna house you. I'm gonna give you food. That's big in the international thing. I think I really love about strongman too is that it's the same thing. It's like people that come to heavy metal, come in, bro. What do you need? Let me show. Oh, what are you training today? Okay, let's do this. Hey, we got this. We got this. Hey, check this out. Look, we got this new piece of equipment. You want to try it? You know what I mean?
It's like that supersedes that wrestling, that powerlifting. It's like that connection supersedes anything else. That, you know, like you're talking about being from different countries or different, you know, political affiliations or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that's secondary. You know, we're powerlifters. We're wrestlers. You know, that's what we. You know, it's man, I think it's awesome. You know,
that's cool, yeah.
And then again, you know, what we talked about earlier, you know, having good training partners, you know, it's so badass to see. And I've gotten a little spoiled from watching y'all on Instagram, stuff like that. I've got a little spoiled. It's kind of like if I don't see y'all like at 1 and 2 or 2 and 3, you know, you and Nick are always kind of side by side on the podium, and it's like you come to expect it, you know, and. So you guys are kind of spoiling everybody else too, cause
the Texas boys.
We got to see that, man. We got to see that 1 and 2.
I'm telling you, when we get in the gym, man, it's serious business. We love to like shoot the shit and talk shit all the time. I mean, if we didn't do that, it would make working out miserable. But at the same time, you know, we're doing it to encourage each other. We know how to get under each other's skin to, you know, make each other accountable for the work that we're doing. Same thing with Rob. We got Rob on during the Beerstone prep. You know, he worked out by himself.
Yeah.
And
I stalk Rob too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got I've seen his gym, his home gym on his photos and stuff like that.
How strong he is.
He's amazing. Like when you see Rob lifting, I don't know what weight class he is, but he's a very strong guy.
He's not gonna like this, but he should be a lightweight, but he goes at middleweight.
Oh, really?
And dude is strong.
He's very strong.
It's crazy. So I'm like, he's squatting and he's using the same weight I am. And I'm looking at Tim like, do you see this shit? Like, God damn, like that's not right.
Yeah.
That's not right for him to be doing that.
He's very impressive. The only issue that I have with Rob is we need to pitch in and get him some longer shorts. And maybe a little thicker.
You know how long I've been trying to do that? I was like, you need it. No, it's funny. He got these like warm shirts. You know those tights that we wear.
Yeah.
He's got we call them warm shorts. He got these pair, and they're like 4 inches from his knee. And he came. He was like, "Man, I don't like this.
It's too low.
It's too low." I was like, "Oh my God, dude, you need it."
We'll have to get him some of those shorts that they used to wear in the NBA, like in the 70s.
That's the Army Ranger in him. He's all about showing the leg.
Those shorts have a certain name to them. I forget what they're called. They're called something, but yeah.
You wouldn't catch me dead in those things. I'll tell you what.
I will have to admit, I did cut a pair of. I call them Daisy Dudes, but I cut a pair for the house for when I'm doing weed eating. So. Nina hates it, but I think my neighbors like it.
That's funny.
But those are my old my tip of the hat to Rob.
Yeah,
short shorts.
He's funny. Yeah, that's funny.
Oh man, well man, I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming by. We did about an hour and a half.
Damn.
And man, we'll have to get together again soon, and maybe get you and Nick in here when he gets his card, and
get the Texas boys in here.
Hell yeah, man, it'll be fun. And you guys are gonna continue to win competitions and increase your profile, and not only that, but your PRs and so we'll get you guys back in here and do it again. But I've had a lot of fun, man.
Oh yeah, me too, man. It's been fun.
I appreciate it, brother.
For sure.
Thanks for coming by.
Yes, sir.
Thanks everybody for listening.
Thanks for listening to the Gabe Molina Podcast.